Hello! Welcome back to Go Get That Rose. I'm your host, Sarah. With me, as always, is my co-host, J Wade.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Any listeners that were like, did the mics just cut out? But no, big build up for nothing. Hey, everybody.
This whole season.
I'm done with this season. I'm glad that after this week, there's only 1 week left, and then we can all just move on to bigger and better things, such as Bachelor in Paradise, which is my jam, where they get crazy and they have both cocktail and vagina tail parties on that show.
Anyway, we are back after having a week off last week. We decided that we just need a break from the negativity of this season. And we did not cover the, what is that called? Women Tell All, which I don't think it was really that important. Anyway, didn't announce a bachelorette like sometimes they do, so it wasn't like important. Yeah, we came back from Matt's Fantasy Suites episode, which, all right.
Bounce.
Yeah.
Bounce.
Yeah, I don't know. Before, oh my gosh.
Let's get it on. Yeah.
Before we,
how many of them do you think he did? I think he had sex with all three of them.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He definitely did. We'll get into it. I want to talk about before we get into the episode. We're both tired, I think, of this season, of this show, of all this crap. I think I'm a little bit more involved with, I'm definitely more involved with, the Bachelor Nation aspect of it, all the different fans, especially running the Go Get That Rose. I follow a bunch of other stuff, so I just see it all the time, and I listen to a bunch of different podcasts and stuff, and I'm just getting really tired of the fandom, I guess, of itself is just so negative and toxic, and people just make big issues out of everything. And I get, for me, I feel like I have to be really careful what I want to say about different things, because I don't know, especially because I am not a person of color. So for me to kind of feel like I want to judge what people are upset about, I kind of feel like, ooh. But I know a lot of people are really upset with this season and are really upset with kind of Matt, and Rachel and all the Rachel stuff and all that stuff. We were saying last night that we kind of both feel really bad for Rachel just because regardless of how you feel about the situation, she really did get screwed over. Just really did. And I kind of feel bad for her. I also really feel bad for Matt. I know you have different opinions. I kind of feel bad for Matt because I feel like he is in you lose either way. As far as picking a winner, I know a lot of people are really upset that he didn't have more people of color in his top four, or pick because most of the people.
That pisses me off.
It pisses me off too because this is the most diverse cast, most diverse top four.
Yeah, but it's what they're really mad at. What they're really mad at is that Matt's tastes aren't aimed
what they want it to be. Yes.
People of color. That's what it comes down to, is that Matt doesn't have feelings for more people of color. That's what the issue there is.
Yeah.
And that pisses me off because dude,
and that's okay.
That's okay about people or things or whatever. Deep cut here. Blair White is fucking gorgeous. Go do your research and you'll get what I'm saying, man. You can't. Feelings are feelings, man. And I hate how people just are that I don't know, he's supposed to pick someone to marry based on race. It's no.
Yeah.
Based on who that person is, how they compliment you, how you interact with each other. That's the kind of shit. The shit that matters.
And that's what he said in the first episode, was saying he felt like people are going to be upset if he picked someone that was white or if he didn't pick someone that was white. And I feel like that's really what's happening. And Kaylin said, but weren't 3 of his top 4 non-white? Yes, the 3 of them were biracial. And I saw people tweeting that it was a shame that people that were fully black weren't in the top, and how unfair that was, which is kind of like, if he didn't have a connection with those girls, like, I feel like, all this to say, I feel like this show has gone from just being something that's like so absurd, so wild, that this one guy or one girl is dating all these people and they're going to end up together, like, kind of fun, kind of escapist, like, just stupid to put on, to this thing that's like so overanalyzed into every little thing, and that we're so focused on people's race or ethnicity and stuff like that, which, yeah, I mean, times are changing, but I feel like it's just so, everything is just so overanalyzed, and it's not fun, and produced, and especially this season is so produced to, and we're all the drama, we don't know any of these women, we still don't really know any of these women or really know Matt, where it's just not fun to watch. And I think, I don't know what was going on with production this season. I don't know if they've hired brand new people. I don't know why from now, especially, like, I spent a lot of time watching older seasons to just see, like, there is a formula, but now it's just, what's the craziest stuff we can get to happen? What's going to keep us relevant? What's going to keep people talking? Where it's like, that's not really what this show was. This show was ridiculous in the premise alone. You didn't need to add all these, like, stupid, unforced, cutting out dates, just adding drama, which is, like, that's not what this show is. You know what I mean?
Right. No,
I just think, stepping back, I mean, we all thought Peter's season was a hot mess. Now looking back, it's like, okay, Matt's season is a hot mess. I still don't like Peter's season because I don't like Peter, and I still really like Matt, and I think Matt is in the show handling himself very well. I just think it's just not fun. It's not fun at this point to still watch. I don't care who he ends up with, which is a shame because we spend all this time watching the show 2 hours a week, like, trying to care about who this man's gonna marry, and I'm not invested. I don't care. Me and you can't wait for this season to be over.
I'm happy,
and that kind of sucks, and I feel like a lot of people feel that way, and The Bachelor needs to get its shit together because it's just a mess.
And to add to what you were saying, you know, when you say it's not fun, we're not even talking about the off-screen stuff, all the drama that's going on off the show. We're not talking about that,
which is exhausting.
About, like, the girls being mean bitches and ripping each other apart emotionally and stuff like that. Like, that to me is that's not fun to watch. I
don't understand why the producers thought that's what people would want to watch. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why the producers are like, yeah, it's going to be great drama to keep Victoria around, or keep these mean, like, legit mean people, keep them around to literally bully Sara out of, remember Sara? Like, bully her out of this show, basically threatening her, saying, like,
that's the point.
Yeah, your life's going to suck if you stay here. So she left, like, just doing all this stuff, like, we don't want to, especially in the more recent time where it's like girl power, girls, like, coming together and being friends and, like, not tearing each other down, not having this mean girl mentality, for us to just watch that play out. It's like, what? We're taking steps back here. Like, this is junior high drama that we don't want to watch. I don't want to see this on my screen. So I just don't understand where ABC, the producers, like, this is great television. This is what's going to keep us relevant. It's like, no, you're getting so much criticism, especially on this huge season of, like, our first black Bachelor, where we're not really even focusing on him. We're just focusing more on these girls, which makes no sense. Like, anyway.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
It doesn't make sense. What also doesn't make sense, so we get into the episode. They have a conversation with Matt and his estranged father, and you brought up a point, if you weren't sure, like, when this was filmed, if this was filmed after the fact or during it, which I could see them filming it after, but I think it was during it. Maybe it was earlier in the season. I don't know, because the show is notorious for like cutting different stuff and adding different stuff in. And I'm kind of torn about this, honestly, just because I thought the conversation, when I first saw it, like in the previews, I thought it was going to be that the production pulled the dad, and that was going to be totally unfair, like without Matt knowing. It was just like, hey, I'm here. But it kind of does seem that Matt did ask him to come, and it was like he got into this process and realized like that was a relationship he needed to work on, like he said. So that part I felt a little bit like, okay, at least it was Matt's decision. It wasn't just forced on him, because that would be totally inappropriate if they were just like, we're going to bring your dad in, even though you don't talk to him.
It wouldn't be surprising, but it would be.
It wouldn't be surprising, but I was like, that's a line. But I, like, in that case, watching it, I was like, oh, this is good. Like, they're having a conversation. They're talking about this really serious stuff that I've never seen in a reality TV show, like we talked about. And then that's where I'm like, I should not be watching this. Like, it just felt very inappropriate for people. Like, it felt very private, like a super private conversation, especially when he's bringing up, like, you could tell the dad was not expecting it to go that way, where he just started to slowly get defensive and was like, well, my dad died and I had to, which, like, you know what I mean? It just felt very like, why are we watching this? Now we have to kind of talk about his relationship with his dad and this conversation. Like, it just, I see on one hand how that kind of conversation could be really good for people that have gone through that situation, to kind of like resonate with Matt and see that and thank God the conversation did end positively. And that we're kind of on a more positive note, where at the end, Matt was like, yeah, like, I forgive him, and told him he forgave them, but that things weren't gonna, that doesn't make everything better, which I thought was really important for Matt to say. I really like that he said, was like, this is not a one-time thing. Like, he's gonna have to constantly, like, we have to work on this, which I was like, yeah, that's good. Like, I'm glad Matt was like, everything's better. Like, everything's great. But it just felt so like, this is personal. Like, I don't need to watch this. This is not for, like, the viewers should not be watching this. It doesn't help us really connect with Matt more. Maybe it does, but it just felt like they didn't need to put this in there for us to fall in love with Matt.
I agree with you. Whether they agreed to sit down and have it filmed or not, it's one of those where it's just kind of like, it just, no, you're right.
Get why? Why would you add this?
I don't know why I need to see this. This is personal, and a lot of it hurtful.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, that's the way it is. Dude, these Hollywood fuckers and stuff, man, they don't care. Like, they care about the money, whatever they think will make them the money. And they think that this kind of drama and all the mean stuff, and then this kind of extremely personal stuff. I felt uncomfortable more so, though, because I was questioning when it was done and the reasons why it was done. It just felt to me, for some reason, I was wondering if it was done post-show, and they were like, well, we need to spice it up, or we need to add some more drama to it here in the second to last episode. So I was wondering if it was filmed after the show and then they edited in as if it was filmed during the show. I don't know. But I saw no point in it whatsoever. As far as, I don't know. I understand having the conversation like Matt was saying. But I mean, as far as why we needed to see that, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't. I have heard through another podcast that Matt did not want that to be aired. But I also heard that he has, so I don't know what, in the end, what it is, what his decision on that was. If he didn't want that to be aired and they still aired it anyway, that is so wrong. And so, like, I don't know.
You've got the morally wrong, and then you've got the legally wrong.
Legally, they can. It's in the contract. Anything they film, they can put out. Yes. But morally, that's like...
Yeah, it's like, dude, come on.
But that just goes to show that this show, they don't care. Like, they don't... Well,
it's obvious they don't care about that by the way they set things up, and they put people in positions where they know someone is going to get hurt. They intentionally put people in positions to where someone gets hurt. And
especially the last person standing. The final two, I mean, we'll be there next week. Next week's the finale. But that whole thing is so messed up where, I mean, a lot of other leagues have kind of broken the model of the last person coming out or the runner-up coming out and giving their whole speech and then thinking that the person's going to propose and then being dumped instead, which is just terrible. Like, that's so awful. Where other leads have, like, on Andy's season of The Bachelorette, she went to her runner-up Nick and even before that and was like, look, it's not going to be you, and kind of broke up with him that way. And I think that's so much better than like making them come out of the limo, think the whole time that they're the ones that are going to win, and then start giving them this speech like, I love you, I can see the rest of my life with you, and then the person's like, thank you, but like, that's so it's so messed up and like terrible, but it's great TV, so yeah. We love to see it. Caitlin said something, is this it? Yeah. With all the push in our society to eliminate bullying, the season kind of missed the mark. Yes, I completely agree. That also makes me think, and with everything, I feel now more than ever that this show is very outdated in our society, just in the sense of, like, I don't know, all the bullying and all the different, like, yeah, like making the person put all their emotional stuff out just to be dumped, like, right afterwards. Like, I just feel like we've gotten to a point where, like, that's not really entertaining anymore. Like, it's not entertaining to see women. I mean, I guess it still is, but, like, should it be entertaining to watch women or men, like, cry because get their heart broken and, like, oh, this is great TV? You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like
been that way, but it's always been that way.
And now I feel like we are getting to a point in society where we're more realizing, like, hey, like, let's not watch stuff where people are getting their heart broken and getting maybe, like, depression and anxiety, like, mental disorders from this show that aren't ever really touched on. Like, maybe that's not a great entertainment. Like, I don't know. Just, that's where I'm at in this season, guys. I'm just questioning everything, life and everything. Caitlin says, I have no idea who is going to win Matt. I do, because
we aren't going to tell it, but you and I had someone spoil it for me, and I think you read all this spoiler stuff, so you
I didn't read it on purpose, but I've known from a long time, just based on how Matt interacts with this person. But I do question it sometimes. But yeah, so let's actually jump into the fantasy suites. And the first one was with Michelle. I love Michelle. I love her so much. I think she's the best for Matt, honestly. Like, I think they get along so well. They're, like, funny. They just seem the most natural together. And when he's with her, like, I really see it. Like, I really see him care. I know we've talked about, like, I have no idea who he's into, but I feel like he's really into Michelle. Their date, they did, like, a Pennsylvania Dutch spa date, which is just the producers just pulling something out of their ass. I was like, what? I'm from New Jersey, which is, like, pretty close to Pennsylvania. Like, I go to Pennsylvania all the time. I've never heard of that in my life. So they're just like, yeah, the Dutch, you know. Okay. It was weird. They're like, I don't know why they had butter. Like, they're, like, smearing butter and milk and oatmeal.
I don't know. Pennsylvania is an odd state, man.
It really is. That's not your typical date. Date night, J Wade, is smearing, like, doing a massage with butter.
No, I'm in Ohio, which borders Pennsylvania. But so our typical date night here would be like maybe start off with some cow tipping, move on to blowing up a mailbox with a Clorox bleach palm. Then
I would love to see that.
the night by maybe top off the night by going to an old abandoned house in the middle of nowhere with some spray paint and tagging some walls.
You know what? Make you a producer on this show. We'd get so much more interesting dates. You know,
hey man, that's the G-rated version in case my mom and dad is one of the people watching. So.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was an interesting date. My favorite part with Michelle, like overall, the whole thing, is when she started talking about her parents and how her parents have. Oh my gosh, Matt must have been very tired at the end of the fantasy suite. Oh yeah.
Matt.
He definitely did all three. Is that crass? Like, they were, after the date, like, after each night, they were all just like, last night was amazing. I was like, especially Brie. Brie was like, I've got everything I needed and more. And I was like, oh my God, they're not hinting it.
Yeah.
Like, Lord. Literally all they had to do was just, they basically told us without telling us. Like, the next step would just to be like, we had sex. Like, it was so close. Anyway, my favorite part with Michelle was when she was talking about how her parents stay in love and what she was asking Matt, like, what he would do to help them, like, stay in love throughout their marriage and relationship, which I thought was a really, like, that was really insightful. And a lot of people, like, you don't really think about that. I think when people are starting out in a relationship, that, like, yeah, you have that love feeling, but that feeling doesn't always stay. It, like, comes and goes, and that's natural, and that's what being married is. And I thought it was really cool that she, like, said to him, like, yeah, we need to think about, like, how we're going to stay in love and fuel that and not just, like, let it kind of die out. I don't know. However she said it was so much better, and I was just like, yeah, that's great. People don't think about that, and then when that feeling is gone, people start to kind of stress out and not realize that, like, it's okay, but you have to work. Like, you really have to work on bringing it back or whatever. And Matt was like, I never really thought about that, which I was like, oh no. But I was like, good for you for Michelle. Like, good for you, Michelle. Like, that, I don't know. She's asking those hard questions. She's bringing up different concepts. I just love her.
I've been bringing that up for weeks. Like, they need the real, genuine conversations that matter. You know, like, do you like Star Wars? What kind of music do you like? If you like,
that is important.
You know, what are some of your hobbies? Do you like nature? That's important.
What your religion?
Conditioner on when you sleep at night. Do you like it completely silent when you sleep at night? These are the things that matter, and these are the things, guys. These are the things that you would get if you had J Wade as the Bachelor. So hashtag J Wade for Bachelor, because fat guys deserve love too. Everybody deserves love, man. But fat dudes, we're looked over. We're looked over, highly looked over, I might add. So we're good guys, man. We want some love too. I'm just an average, normal guy from Ohio. I work a shitty job, man. But I pay my bills. I live life. I'm a catch. I don't. And
on your date, he'll take you cow tipping and blowing up mailboxes.
And
what more could a girl ask for?
Yeah, man. I'm all about it, man. It's good times. Yeah, maybe we can even park on a back road and lay back on the hood of the car and look at the stars and the moon, man. Because nice. I am in rural America. It's country around here.
That's
hashtag J Wade for Bachelor.
J Wade for Bachelor. Okay, let's talk about. Then we had Brie's date, which, spoiler alert, Brie went home. Which I figured that was going to happen. Did you figure that was going to happen?
What's that you cut out?
Who did? Oh, I cut out. Okay, well, Brie went home. I knew that was, like, I just figured she would go home. Did you think, watching it, the date, I don't know, Brie was it. I really like Brie. I didn't really see it with them. And that's why I was surprised when she, afterwards, like, the next morning, like, they were really flirty, and she was like, yeah, like, I figured, I don't know. I don't want to talk about someone's sex life. I was just surprised that, like...
Jump in there. Let's do it. Say it.
Let's not.
No,
I was surprised that she insinuated that they slept together because I figured that she would be the one that he didn't, because I just figured that she was the one he was the least interested in. So that's why, like, I don't know. I just don't know.
I'm going to give you the male perspective right now.
I don't even know who Brie is. I was shocked she was a top 3.
I'm going to give you the male perspective right now.
Love.
Out of those 3 broads who are left, Brie is the one who is like that you would want to do the most.
She's
like
sexy.
if you're sitting back, she's like, cute, man,
small.
Dude, yeah, she's fucking sexy. Now, she's not my, like, none of these girls are my type of personality. I could never, like, have a relationship with them and try to like live with them and shit like that. It would never happen. But if we're talking like having a one night fantasy suite moment, out of those 3 broads, yeah, whether or not we are into each other or not.
This is going in a very dangerous conversation.
No, it's not. I'm just saying because I'm bringing it back around to what you were saying right now, as far as you didn't think they were going to hook up because you didn't think that he was really that into her. You know, at the end of the day,
doesn't matter.
You're right. It doesn't matter. It does, dude. He very well could have known she wasn't.
Well, he did say he was surprised with her.
Hot and like, hey, dude, if you're down, I'm down. Let's get it on, girl.
He was like, I was surprised by our conversations and where things led. So, like, maybe like when he went into it, he wasn't like planning on it, but then he was just like, oh, we're so connected. I don't know.
Or maybe that was a part of how he was getting her into it. Maybe he's a player and he was playing her right there, and he was like, man, maybe she's not into it. I got to sweet talk her and like make it sound like I'm more into her.
I feel so uncomfortable talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, their date was lame. They just went hiking, and he made her think that they were going to sleep in a tent for their fantasy suite, which I was
really
like,
thought they were too for a minute. I was like, dude, tell me this really is not the fantasy suite. Please tell me this.
I was like, okay. Side note, I really did like how Matt told all 3 of the girls about his conversation with his dad. Where, like, when he told Michelle, because Michelle was first, it felt very, like, natural, because it kind of felt more like, oh, this just happened, so it was natural for him to bring it up. But then when he started talking about it more and more, oh my gosh, when he would bring it up with, like, Brie, it just kind of started to feel like he was bringing it up to see how they would react to him talking to his dad and, like, what they were going to say. I don't know. It was very interesting. But yeah, Brie went home. I wasn't surprised. I figured.
Surprised. He seems more into Michelle and Rachel than he did Brie. I mean, which is because that's how it happens each week. You know, he has to narrow it down, and you know, it's just how it goes. But we'll see. Michelle and Rachel.
Brie she seemed upset, but I think she didn't seem as devastated as I thought she was going to be, because all 3 of these girls.
She got what she wanted, man. She got that big. She got that.
She knew.
And on top of
all these, oh my god,
Instagram following or whatever these social media people do, she's gonna be making money.
She's gonna be an influencer. She's gonna be on Paradise.
Yeah, she said, and she might get more Big D. Who knows? And girl could end up looking really good at the end of this.
So all 3 of these girls did tell Matt that they loved him, not just falling in love, but they were all 3 in love with him.
Yeah. They don't know him.
Matt didn't say anything back to any of them, which I was waiting for him to say something back to Rachel, because Rachel's the only one he said that he's falling in love with. The other girls, like, he hasn't said anything, just kind of like, thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, yeah. I noticed that too. Well, Michelle, she said it. He didn't say it back. Then she said it again in the morning.
Out with her.
He didn't say it back.
Yeah, but he made out with her aggressively. Like, he was like, I can't say it, but like, but I was also kind of like, but you've already told Rachel that you're falling in love with her. So
hold on, backtrack. So, because this might come in handy for me someday, so I don't have to say I love you. So rather than telling a girl I love her, there is a level of aggression that I could present during making out that lets her know that I love her and therefore I don't have to say it? Is that what you just said?
No, it's only if you're on The Bachelor and you technically
Oh,
can't tell the person that you love them until they're the final one.
okay.
If
I
you
thought
did,
you were being out a workaround of saying I love you. I was like, dude,
no.
I make out aggressively. Trust me.
Side note, my first boyfriend told me that he loved me first, and I I wasn't ready to say it. We were 15, and it was like 1 month into dating, and he loved you, and I just looked at him and said, I know, and kissed him.
You pulled a Han Solo on him. That's awesome.
And he was so, or I said I know, or like thank you, or something like that, and he was so mad. So
well, okay, here's a question for you. Like,
don't
if
do that.
someone tells you that they love you and you're not ready to say it back, what do you say?
I don't know.
I mean, well, like for real, like thank you is what I've gone to in the past because I don't know what else. Like it's either thank you or trust me, that's a really bad time to be honest. You know what I mean? Because being honest would be like, I love you. I really, really have feelings for you, but
I'm just not there yet.
Love you or not. And then that blows all the chances of a handy or a BJ, and it just ruins the whole night.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's right, Sarah. This is what everyone is going to get when this show picks up after this season. We're going to make a big announcement next week about this show, and right now you're just getting.
We're going to be on ABC. Just kidding.
Jay Wade is about to untether himself a little bit when this.
No. Untether yourself? What are you talking about? How much more can you untether yourself?
Well, how many times have I really sat here and how many times have I been on this show and said BBC, Big D, and all this?
First.
I mean, you have to admit, I've been pushing the envelope a little bit.
Never mind. We talked about something else a long time ago. I don't remember what it was. I remember you called me out.
With the champagne?
No. I forget what it was. Anyway,
it was Katie and her dildo, her vibrator.
No, that's not what I'm talking
with the little thing on top for the clitoris for her pleasure.
Okay, let's just move on to the last fantasy suite date.
Real quick, this totally it has to do with what I was just saying. Matt missed out. This was fantasy suite. Imagine if Katie was there. It would have been Katie and her big fucking vibrator. Dude, Matt kind of...
No, she said that was for her.
Matt kind of...
Why she waited to get the fantasy
but
suite.
you know damn well that we could have brought that into play while we're there. You know, I mean, a little DP never hurt nobody.
I'm so uncomfortable. Anyway, okay, let's talk about our last phase. Throughout the episode, after each... Why... they did this with Tayshia's season. Why the hell are all the girls forced to sit together and watch each other go get ready for their fantasy suite and then watch them come back? Like, this is the first time we did it was Peter's season, and we all thought, like, oh, it's just because Maddie's the virgin and I want to make her super uncomfortable. But then they've done it every season since. I don't like this. I don't like that they're making these girls sit here, and especially Rachel was losing her damn mind the whole time. She's like, and it was pissing me off, honestly, because she keeps asking, like, she asked Michelle, like, so what'd you guys do? Like, and then you could see her visibly getting upset. She literally started crying right in front of Michelle, and Michelle was like, that's really awkward to put Michelle and Bree, she asked both of them, like, that's an awkward position, to put them in, to be like, well, I guess I need to tell you about what we did. And then she starts crying, and it's like, if you didn't want to know the answer, don't ask. Like, don't ask them what they did to be nice. Like, just, it was weird. Jay Wade says,
Darren, stay tuned, because something along these lines could very well be coming to my channel, the JCast Network, here pretty soon. Wait, what did that say? The first episode we called A Serious Talk About a Funny Clitoris. Yeah. I've seen some funny clitorises. But, dude, not a lot of people know about the finger test, like the smell test.
Okay.
Never mind. That's for another show. That's for another show. There is a sly way that you got, because I mean,
so we were messaging last night
down there without knowing what you're getting into. That's all I'm saying. Like, you have to know what
I'm losing all control. We were talking last night or this morning, I don't remember, about why does this keep happening? If y'all didn't watch us on the WandaVision recap on this channel as well, where we just constantly were making each other laugh and not paying attention, that's kind of what's happening right now. Darren, don't encourage him. Okay, so we were talking last night about how we don't like Rachel. I'm losing my mind. Okay, we were talking last night about how we both don't like Rachel and her.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm just saying that you can't, because you can't be obvious is the point. You can't be like, you know.
Wait, Caitlin said we're on the verge of losing our biggest, and I will add, our only fan.
Like, you know, the best thing is that, you know.
All right, we're done with that. Okay, so, last night we were talking about how Rachel was kind of bothering us, especially, I'm so close, especially with the fact that she was just like so emotional and crying the whole time, which really pisses me off at this point when he's just gone. It really pisses me off when contestants, especially at this point, 'cause she was so like, I can't imagine him being intimate with other people, and I'm like, did you not do your homework? Like, if anyone who doesn't watch the show at least knows at some point the Bachelor gets to bang some of the contestants. Like, that's the first. If you ask someone that's like, have you seen The Bachelor? No, but doesn't he like sex with some of his contestants? Like, people know that. This is a stigma about the show. You're telling me that you went on the show and did not realize, if you got to this point, that like there was a chance he was going to have sex with other people, kind of like with Maddie, where it's like, yeah, you signed up for it. Like, I'm sorry. It just pisses me off. And she's like crying and being really upset and really milking it. And to me, it just comes off super cocky, where she's so confident that she is going to win. And I mean, like, to me, it's super obvious.
How dare he have sex with someone else when he has an opportunity to? How dare he?
And it just comes off like,
how could you eat that piece of cake that was brought out for you to eat? That's your favorite kind of cake, and they set it in front of you and said, "Here, eat this piece of cake." Yeah. How could you do that, you terrible person? I don't.
But it was just like, she was just like, I feel like she's so naive, and she's just not taking other people into this. It kind of reminds me a lot of Luke P from Hannah Brown's season, where he said he was completely convinced that him and Hannah was going to end the show to be with him, was going to end things early. And that's kind of where I feel like with Rachel, she even says, like, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to have a, like, kind of joking, but definitely not joking, like, he'll propose tomorrow and I'll have a ring. Like, I just feel like she's so unaware that, like, he is having feelings and conversations with other people. And a lot of other people have come out and said that, like, you don't realize how deep these other conversations and relationships are with other people until you go to watch it back, and that's why it's hurtful. And for, like, the winner to go back and rewatch the show, because you're seeing your partner form relationships with other people. And I think that's what happened when she got to this point and realized that, like, she's not the only one here. You know what I mean? Like, Matt isn't just into her. He's also into two other people. And I think, I don't know. For me, that's just like, it just comes off extremely kind of arrogant and cocky. And her whole thing of, like, the whole time she walks up to him and she's like, hi, like, obviously upset. And obviously, like, don't ask me why I'm upset, but ask me why I'm upset,
Yeah,
which is
all
the thing
that-
we do. I do that all the time.
So that you can get validation from him and all that.
I'm completely guilty of it. Ask my husband. I will be like over here sighing, like, and he'll be like, "What's wrong?" And I'll be like, "Nothing." Like, it's a thing we do. But, yeah. So they had like a kind of a pottery date. They did the whole ghost thing where he's behind her, which is so cliche. But at the same time, her whole date was just followed by drama until she talked about it and basically made him give her confirmation and validation. And then she was fine. Everything was great and wonderful. That's what pissed me off. Was like the whole time she's like upset and crying until she got him to be like, basically give her what she wants, saying like, when I thought I was gonna lose you and the accident last week, the parachuting accident, she was like, oh, okay. Like, it was
all just mind games.
Yeah, I don't know. We've talked about it before. Just not a fan of Rachel. Besides everything that's gone on in the world and all the extra stuff with her, I just don't like her on this show. Like, I don't know. She just rubs me the wrong way. And yeah, I guess that's it. Bree went home. Our final two was Michelle and Rachel. We will see next week. I don't know if it's a special 3-hour.
No,
because next week is the finale. I don't know. I don't know if it's 3 or 2 hours. Because sometimes I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty sure.
Now, should I tell about should I go in depth about the smell test?
Okay, I'm quitting.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
For our big announcement, I'm not going to be a part of the big announcement.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Now, but yeah, next week we'll be recapping the finale. Finally, of Matt James' season. We will know who the winner is, and then they're also going to have the after the final rose with not Chris Harrison, but with someone who I do not remember what his name is, and I believe we're finding out who our Bachelorette is next week, even though I'm pretty sure I know, and I told Jay, but it's okay. We'll find it all out next week, and we have.
Someone else spoiled it.
Yeah, it's fine, and we'll have. I guess we have a big. Announcement? That's the word. Yeah.
You know what the announcement is, Sarah. Why are you acting like you don't know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait, are you being serious?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Jay, come on. I wouldn't be surprised with the people.
All right, cool.
Yeah, okay, well.
For the huge announcement, I changed all kinds of stuff, and Sarah has no idea what's going on.
Until then, J Wade, where can the people follow you?
Y'all can follow me on the Twitter at JWade1134. That is the letter JWADE1134. You can also follow me on Stereo app at that same handle. And you can also please follow me on or follow the JCast Network on Twitter. As well as the JCast Network on YouTube. That is my channel, my network over there, where I'm doing some Schmodown content and gonna do some Star Wars content too when that starts rolling out in May. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at SCBock, SABOCK. You can follow this show at Go Get That Rose on Twitter. You can follow Merc with the Movie Blog. This channel at Movie Blog Merc. You can find other shows that they do on the Merc with the Movie Blog as well, starting not this Friday, but next Friday. With the Marvel, we'll be recapping Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I will probably be appearing there. So, yeah. Until next time. Bye-bye. I don't know.